Restarting. Hello, we're back at AuraDev, and this morning we have the pleasure of talking to members of the NetBeans Dream Team and the founder of NetBeans himself. Very exciting interview here, biggest interview I've had on the couch with me here at AuraDev this week. So thanks for being here. Let's get started with an update from Geertjan, telling us a little bit about what's been happening with getting NetBeans into the Apache Foundation. What's the status there?
Right, so probably the biggest news in the entire software development universe is that NetBeans is moving to Apache. And the reason why we're doing that is to open up the governance model and to get more code contributions and to expand the participation of the community in the development of NetBeans. And people have been asking for this for years. People have been within the Dream Team outside asking to be involved in the roadmap, which Sun Microsystems always drove and Oracle always drove. And there was some interaction with the community about what features do you want and whatever, but it was always kind of Oracle or Sun driving the project, driving the roadmap, choosing which issues are important, should be done. And what we wanted to achieve now is by moving NetBeans to Apache, having the first development tool within Apache. So we'll be more or less the official Apache development tool. And focused on NetBeans as a development environment, as it's always been, also as a tooling platform, so anyone with any technologies that they want to promote or do demos with or be productive in, they can create plugins for in the NetBeans tooling platform. And of course, as always, NetBeans as application framework, so organizations building large software systems like at NATO and at NASA and at Boeing can continue doing that within Apache NetBeans, but also contribute to that on an equal level with everyone else. There are no organizations in Apache, there's only individual committers. So everybody involved will all be equal and we'll all be working on this project together with many developers from Oracle as well. So it's going to be good.
All the feedback that I've heard about the news that this was intended to happen has been really positive, so
Right.
all good news around. Has there been any updates since the first announcement that we're moving that direction? I heard there were a couple movements in the positive direction.
Yes. So we announced this just before Java 1 and Open World, and we did a big session together with James Gosling at NetBeans Day at Java 1. And he said, I think his words were unspeakably amazed or something. They were like these two, like unspeakably impressed by this move to Apache, and the whole room was applauding and massively packed out. Since then, so there's a whole process. I mean, Apache is all about process. We started with a proposal, the NetBeans proposal, which is on the Apache Wiki, which has been accepted by Apache, and we are now in the incubator. And at this point, we're looking at the licenses of NetBeans and seeing which ones are incompatible with Apache, and we're trying to solve those particular scenarios. And there are 2 or 3 places where we know that there are things we need to sort out, and we've actually gone through the process and sorted those out. So for example, built into NetBeans is a fork of the Java compiler, and that's not something that Oracle is donating to Apache. So we need to sort out how to work with that and how to integrate that, and whether it can be developed at Apache, and we don't want to do that anyway. So all these kinds of things we're working on right now. And we seem to be coming to the end of that, so now we're at a place where we can almost do the software grant, which is a document that we have to work on within Oracle and give to Apache. And after we've done that, then we can move the code to the Apache Git repositories, and we'll be doing a lot of experiments with their Jenkins and with their release management. And one thing we're looking forward to is having a clearly visible release management system, because right now with a NetBeans there's one guy who knows how the whole release management structure works, literally. So if he gets run over by a car, we're going to have a problem. So this is one nice thing about Apache, that everything is going to be very clearly documented and described, and everyone will be able to do the whole release management structure, for example.
Well, sounds very exciting. Very positive movements. You're
Right.
making great progress, keeping
Right.
you busy.
Right.
So Yara, you want to share, what's your perspective as the creator and founder of NetBeans? How do you feel about this move?
Well, I basically share what Geertjan said. I can just add that NetBeans as an IDE has an excellent integration with Maven. Sometimes I even think about NetBeans IDE as the user interface for Maven. And Maven is Apache project. So
Right.
now NetBeans is going to be Apache project as well. So the tool, widely used tool for building Java projects, Maven, will be at the hands of the same organization as NetBeans. So I hope we will find some synergy and make this connection even stronger and more fitting together.
Cool. And so we have some NetBeans Dream Team members here. Tony, any perspectives or thoughts on the move and things you're looking forward to once things get started and there's more ability to have the contributions from community members?
Yeah, sure. So for us in the NetBeans Dream Team, we've been discussing for a long time that we want to have more influence for the community inside NetBeans, and we had this benevolent dictatorship, basically, this model that was driven by Oracle. And now we've got exactly what we want, because Apache is a community where everybody has equal say. All the initial contributors, I happen to be one, have an equal say in the system, and this is really great. So we have to basically deliver, because we got from Oracle what we always wanted. And so now it's basically our turn to actually contribute to it. And my perspective is, so we are doing Duke script development mainly, and actually Duke script happens to be based on NetBeans APIs. So what we want to do is to contribute more and closer integration of that into NetBeans IDE. And we're really excited about this move, and we're looking forward to being able to contribute more and easier.
Yeah, so you mentioned the Duke script. You had a couple fun demos that I saw with you recently. You have the Duke toothbrush, is that what it is?
The toothbrush.
the toothbrush, and then you had the embroidery machine with embroidering Dukes, right? So did you bring something to show us?
So actually, it was a little bit short notice to show a demo. I can show you the toothbrush. So it's funny. I happened to find this toothbrush, and I found out that you actually have an API for that. And with Duke script, it's very easy to create applications for it. So what I did was I created a smart mirror, and since we're in Sweden, I used IKEA objects to do that. And so now if you basically start brushing your teeth, a minion will come up on your mirror and start growing teeth as you progress with your brushing process. So that's one of the demos that I did. And I was really excited that this year at Java 1 I had the opportunity to actually be in the community keynote and have James Gosling handle this as the user interface to start the demo.
So James Gosling has used this brush.
Exactly. He has touched it. I'm not using it anymore.
Now we can't use it. It goes in the monument in the museum.
Exactly.
Cool. All right, well, Ivar, so we have you here also from the Dream Team, our local NetBeans Dream Team member living here in Malmo. Any perspectives you want to share, things that you've seen or heard in the community around Sweden about this news and from the NetBeans users and community?
Sure. I think it's great news that we're moving to Apache. I think I've never been a NetBeans committer before. I've used NetBeans since version 4 professionally, and I'll always promote NetBeans as my project. I say that if you want the best IDE for Java EE development, that's NetBeans, and if you want to have me to help you, choose NetBeans. But now I've actually registered as a initial committer for Apache NetBeans, so I hope hopefully to be contributing code as well, and not just promoting and using it. I always have the feedback enabled, so if it happens to crash, it doesn't happen often, but when you get a bug report or something, it's automatically submitted to the bug tracker. So, but now hopefully I'll be able to fix some bugs as well.
And I think this is also a really good move from Apache's point of view, because if we succeed with the process that we've started, it really proves Apache's model as well, because NetBeans is a really large project. It's one of the larger projects that is involved with Apache on that level, but also on the level of we are bringing a whole bunch of new contributors to Apache. You know, there's about 60 initial committers who are signing independent contributor license agreements with Apache. And for example, James Gosling is now for the first time an Apache committer, which he wasn't that before. And in fact, he became the first committer, because as soon as I mentioned to him that we were doing this discussion with Apache, like this was before Java 1, before any announcement, I was kind of like, you know, saying, well, what would you think if we were to do this? And apparently he immediately wrote to Apache and signed his license agreement and sent it to them. And then he got an email back saying, wait, is NetBeans even, you know, in the process with Apache? It was even before anything. He was already signed up, and he put NetBeans in big capital letters on this license agreement. And I got an email from Apache saying, wait, I know we're kind of investigating things, but why is James Gosling suddenly interested in signing up to Apache NetBeans? So we're getting all this new energy and more people involved in the Apache process, which I think we also of great benefit to Apache by means of this move.
So growing the whole Java ecosystem,
Right.
so keeping growth in all areas is important, and actions speak louder than words.
Right.
So we've got people already signing up
Right.
as contributors, which is great to hear. Any other exciting news or developments that we should share with the community coming here from AuraDev? Any exciting tidbits or favorite things or passions that you found here at the conference? It's my first time at the conference. I've really enjoyed being here, meeting some of the developers, and it's kind of experiencing some of the local culture and the city hall and hearing from the mayor. Any highlights
Right.
that you want to share before we close out the interview?
Well,
Technical or otherwise?
maybe the sauna experience.
Is that your favorite?
It's definitely my favorite. So whenever AuraDev happens, on the first evening, all the speakers go in this big bus to the sauna, and and everyone gets fish and schnapps, and then you go out and you get this towel, and you're in the sauna, and you're jumping into the ice cold Baltic Sea, right? I mean, that's a normal thing that you do here, or it's.
He lives
I don't
here.
know.
I mean,
Well, it is a normal thing. I'm not the usual visitor to that place.
Because you have your own sauna in your own house, right?
I do. Most weeks I do, actually. But when I saw this speaker's sauna experience being announced, I thought that, oh crap, I need to practice a little bit. So actually last weekend I fired up my sauna at home just to see how long can I stay in there in these temperatures. But yeah, it's been a couple of years since last time. But it's a great experience.
sounds like good fun. Tony, Yara, you want to share any of your favorite moments at the conference or doing the experiences outside the conference here?
So one thing that I really like on this conference are the keynotes, because they clearly show that we are not just a bunch of computer geeks, but we care about the society, and the topics discussed here are interesting, important, and I'm really glad to see this kind of topic at a developer conference.
Right, to get into some of the social and human sides of technology and how it impacts our humanity is really interesting. Anything you want to share with us, Tony, before I know you're heading off to catch a train
In a couple of minutes,
in about
yeah.
3 minutes. You need to head out to catch the train.
Well, I had an overall great experience here. I was late for the sauna because I love sauna actually, but I loved everything here, and the visits to the local companies where we got introduced to Swedish culture. And as Jarda said, it's not just a developer conference, but we learn a lot about soft skills, a lot about our responsibilities as developers, what we're doing about privacy concerns and everything. And that makes a really, really compelling package. It's the first time I've been here, and it's definitely, if I get re-invited, not the last time.
All right, well, thanks for the fun interview. It's always fun to get members of the dream team together from NetBeans, so enjoy the rest of the conference, and thanks for your time.
Welcome.
All right.
Bye.
Thank you.